in this episode we are talking all about passion and how the heck to find it. This can be such a challenge for so many of us, and I've got some really great tips to share, so stay tuned. This is the She Means Business Show, where we show you how to turn your ideas into reality and become a wildly successful entrepreneur. Carrie Green, She Means Business. Hey, it's Carrie here, founder of the Female Entrepreneur Association and author of She Means Business, and I'm talking all about passion because I feel like so often it eludes a lot of us, and we spend a lot of our lives trying to figure out what on earth we should be doing with our lives, our careers and that kind of thing. This definitely happened to me. I felt like I went through a phase for a very long time where I was like, what am I supposed to do with my life? And it was very infuriating. So the first thing before I get into the 6 tips I have for you is that you have to get the right perspective on this. You can't be waking up every day thinking, what am I supposed to do in my life? What am I supposed to do in my life? And expecting it to just hit you in the face, because that's never going to happen. That's literally what I used to do. Wake up thinking, what am I supposed to do in my life? And then I got into the mantra of thinking, I don't know. So change it around. Albert Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking you had when you created it. So we have to get a new perspective, and before we set off on our adventure to figure out what our purpose actually is. So with all that said, the first tip that I wanted to share is to be curious, to open yourself up to going on an adventure, to figuring this out. Literally stepping away from what is my purpose to just wanting to expand your life, wanting to grow, wanting to explore, wanting to figure out what feels right for you. So be curious, open yourself up, set off on your adventure, and it's going to be a much better starting place to figure out what you're supposed to be doing with life, what your passion actually is. So that is the first thing. Be curious. Maybe you go and get a journal and you write in it, this is what I did, and write in it that you are setting off on your adventure to figure out what you're supposed to be doing, and then document your journey and all that you're doing. So get really intentional about it all. So once you've decided to become more curious and you've set off on your adventure, one really simple thing that you can do, which is often very helpful, is just take a look around at some of the other people that you admire in the world and think about what they're doing and why you admire them, and look at people whose lives that you think are amazing, who you think have the most amazing careers, and think, would you want that for yourself? Just make a list of these people and just take an overall look at it and take inspiration from them and see, would this work for me? Is this what I want? You know, at this point, you're just getting curious, you're just gathering inspiration. So go and make that list of people who you admire and decide whether what they're doing is something that you would love to be doing. So take a look around online and just see whether there's anyone that is doing cool stuff that you think, oh my gosh, I would love to be doing this with my life, and that's how I want to be spending my time, because maybe that's how you should be spending your time after all. So just get clear, write a list down, and then take inspiration from it. So tip number 3 is a great question to ask yourself. I'm sure you've heard people say this to you before, but literally take some time to think, if I couldn't fail, what would I do? If money was no issue, if I was taking money out of the equation, what is most important to me and what would I want to spend my time doing? Because while this question is a question that's asked over and over and over again, a lot of times people don't actually sit down to think about what that answer actually is. So take some time, go off somewhere quiet, go to wherever, go to the beach, or just chill out somewhere and just think, what do I actually want to do with my life? What do I want my life to be like? And start asking yourself these questions that can help to open up some of the answers for you. I find that asking these questions isn't necessarily going to help you figure out the answer straight away, but it's a good starting point. So definitely sit down and take some time to really answer that question. So for me, before I started the Female Entrepreneur Association, there were a number of different ideas that I had of routes to go down, and most of those were when I was thinking about how could I make money. And what I came to realize is that those options actually didn't light me up whatsoever. FEA stuff really lit me up, but it wasn't because I was thinking about the money whatsoever. In fact, I thought that the money wouldn't actually come for quite a while. And that is so often what happens in business. Sometimes the money doesn't come for a while. So you have to love what you're doing in order to make it work. Otherwise, it's just not going to be as successful. So just for now, take money out of the equation and just really think through what you actually love, what really truly lights you up. So tip number 4 is another really simple question to ask yourself. Are there any problems existing in your life right now that you would love to solve? So often people start businesses because they have a problem in their life that they really want to solve. This is exactly how I was feeling when I started the FEA. I felt so isolated and lonely as an entrepreneur, and I wanted to create something that was really feminine to help support other female entrepreneurs and to bring us all together. And so it was a massive problem in my life. I knew other people would be experiencing experiencing the same thing too. So that really helped to shape what I wanted to create. So look into your life and think, are there any problems I would love to solve? Because often that can really lead to figuring out what you would love to do. So my fifth tip is actually another question for you, and it is this: do you have any big, huge pipe dream style ideas that you just feel are way too unrealistic for you to ever make happen? Because I feel so often a lot of us have these huge dreams that we have, but we just think that it's never going to happen for us. It's too unrealistic. We have no idea where to get started. So we just park it to one side and just it never sees the light of day. So many of us have this, and it's such a shame. So think through, do you have anything deep down that you've just pushed down under the surface because you think it's unrealistic? Because maybe it's not. Maybe that is what you're supposed to spend your life doing. So have a think about it, get really clear, and if there is something there, why not start seeing whether that is actually something that you could make happen in your life. My sixth and final tip for you is really simple. It's just to follow your heart with all of this stuff, because you know intuitively deep down what feels right for you, what you want to spend your life doing. You only live one life, so you've got to spend it doing something you love, something that lights you up. It is so important. Don't get caught up with people telling you that you need to be realistic. It is the worst advice ever. Don't be. Go out there and just dream big and go for it and take action, because the truth is clarity can only ever come through taking action. You will never find out what you're meant to be doing with your life sat at home thinking about it. So get out there, be curious, take action, and you will definitely start to put the pieces in place to figuring out what you're supposed to be doing with your life. So I really hope you've enjoyed these tips, and I hope it helps you to figure out your passion. To help you dive even deeper, I've created a Find Your Passion worksheet with loads of questions to help you go even further and to map this all out so you can start taking action to figuring out what you want to do with your life. So download it below, the link is below, it's completely free. So check it out and put it all into action and just start living the most incredible life ever. Hey guys, I really hope you have enjoyed this video. Definitely give it a thumbs up if you have, and make sure you subscribe. Also, I would love you to leave a comment below and let me know what you would do if you knew you couldn't fail. Such a big question, and it can be really powerful when you answer it. So leave a comment below and let me know.